La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, alayhi salatullah, la Rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala support and shelter, running away from shaitan into his protection, into the protection of his prophet, into the protection of his awliya, his friends, our Shaykh. And we are saying, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. How many times we've heard Shaykh Efendi saying, say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. That is the sword of the angels. That is the sword of the believers. With Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, you can break the shaitan. You can cut off his whisperings to you. You can protect yourself against the shaitan. Saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim is not just to say with your mouth. Saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, but is not coming from the heart, it doesn't mean anything. Anything that we are saying and we are doing, if it's not coming from the heart, Allah does not want it. Allah is looking at the heart, not at the tongue. You can say whatever you are saying, but the heart will not lie. Sincerity. Sincerity. Ikhlas. How many times you're reciting Surah Al-Ikhlas a day? Murids should be reciting at least 100 times a day. Ikhlas. If I ask how many reciting 100 times a day, we will be surprised, maybe. More ikhlas that you are reciting, more sincerity is going to come to you. Islam, Iman, Ihsan comes with the sincerity. Sincerity is not coming with what others are telling you. It doesn't come from outside. Sincerity comes from inside. Sincerity comes from the heart. Sincerity comes from the heart of the believer who sits down and looks into his heart. And he must find Allah there. Not to find other ilah than Allah. If the believer is finding other ilahs than Allah, other gods, other things that you're putting into your heart, what are we saying now? if you're putting Allah and other ilahs next to each other. Let's not say. That's why Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, I'm fearing for my nation of their hidden shirk. Hidden shirk. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, don't come to my presence with these two sins. All other sins I will forgive. The sin, the first one is the shirk. Making partnership to Allah. Although the tongue is saying, La ilaha illallah, what is coming from the heart is going to show through the rest of the body, isn't it? If your heart, if it is sick, the rest of the body is going to be sick. If the heart, it is well, the rest of the body is well. Who is saying this? Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying this. How many times we heard our Sahibul Saif saying this? Tariqat is to teach us, you and me and the whole world, to look into our hearts and to get rid of all the ilahs from our hearts. These days, 21st century mankind, especially 21st century Muslims, they have become so arrogant and stubborn that they are saying, I don't have any ilahs, I only have Allah in my heart. I don't need anyone to tell me my religion. I know my religion. I don't need a guide to tell me anything. I know, because I know how to read and I know how to write. In the first Jahiliyyah, they did not know how to read and write, majority of the people, but their hearts became alive when they heard the truth. Second Jahiliyyah is worse than the first Jahiliyyah. They know how to read and we know how to write, but our hearts are dead. And when the truth is coming, we're standing in front of it saying, who are you to tell me? I know, I know, I know. Everybody knows, from the young to the old, from 7 years old to 70 years old. I know, Facebook fatwas. Everyone is making Facebook fatwas. I know, nobody is going to bend their head down and to say, Ya Rabbi, I don't know. Send me someone who knows. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not saying everyone is an arif. Everyone is an alim. Everyone is a knower. What did he say? There is a knower above every knower. And if we are sincere with ourselves, we are going to find someone that is going to teach us our religion, that is going to teach us ourselves, that is going to teach us our Lord. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Holy Prophet ﷺ for these things. Why he sent prophets? He could have just sent inspiration to everyone, to follow as they like, to say, I know. But he sent a prophet. He sent a guide. He sent someone to teach you, to teach us. Holy Prophet ﷺ, he passed 1400 years ago. Those ones at that time who say that he is dead, alhamdulillah, majority of them, the Sahabe-i-Kiram, they finished them. Isn't it? Who are these ones who declare that he is dead? When they say, we gave bayat to him, we are not giving bayat to you, Abu Bakr, or Umar, Usman or Ali. It is only to him. Why we have to follow you? So he passed, so it's finished. We are free. We are free agents. From the Harijis to so many other groups declaring other things. Prophets, new ones. Independence. Those ones saying we are forming a different group, not according to how Holy Prophet has left. The Sahaba Kiram, they finished them. But the disease sprang back up again. When the Akhir Zaman, they started approaching. And those ones who are saying, Prophet is dead. Hasha astaghfirullah. What kind of a prophet are we going to follow if that one is dead? Isn't our shahadat complete shahadat, not this new age, new style shahadat saying just La ilaha illallah, everybody is saying La ilaha illallah, everyone is the same? No. The religion Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala perfected with Muhammad Rasulullah. If you just say La ilaha illallah, is not complete. If you think it's complete, why Allah sent Hatami Rasul? Why Allah sent the seal of the prophets? But with Muhammad Rasulullah alayhi wasalam, it became complete. We are saying La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. If Prophet is dead, why we should say Muhammad Rasulullah? Prophet is alive. He is fresh and he is alive. Yes. Holy Prophet ﷺ, for those who worship him, he is dead. For those who don't worship him, he is alive. Understanding? They're saying the same about our Shaykh too. Don't worry. Second Jahiliyyah is going to be worse than the first Jahiliyyah. Now the sword is still inside the scabbard here. Inside the sheath. Inside the cover. When the Sahib of the Saif, he comes and he unleashes that, those ones who dare to come out from his way, who are declaring their own heads, who are making fitna non-stop 24 hours, who is making people to get confused and to come away from the Siratul Mustaqim. Understand, that time when it comes is going to be worse than the first Jahiliyyah. May Allah never separate us from our Sahib, from our Shaykh, from this way. None of us were exceptions. None of us we are going to think, I am exception, I am not exception, you are not exception. This way is continuing, whether we like it or not, with or without us. If we are not here, Allah is going to choose better ones than us. Don't worry. I'm living proof of that. Before me, there was somebody else, Shaykh, and he trained for 7 years. He turned around and he betrayed too. Everyone who betrayed the Efendis, you will not find Shafat. How are you going to betray your Efendi? When he says, continue, and you say no. Everyone is free for right now, but everyone's leash is in his hand. We are not exception, not me, not you. If we are not continuing this way, we are going to lose a lot. But Allah will choose ones who are better than us to walk this way, to run with this way, to fly in this way. If we stay, and if we take the blessings and the teachings of our Shaykh, and that time when our ego is attacking, and we're pulling out the ammunition, and we are fighting back to our ego and shaitan, that time we're going to win. But, as what we said this morning, yesterday, if we are listening just to sohbats, sohbat is giving the ammunition against to our ego and against to shaitan. But if you don't use that ammunition, it means nothing. Complete nothing. You can be sitting, sleeping, eating, worshipping with that Shaykh, with that saint 24 hours. There are some who are with them decades. Are we surprised that suddenly they are gone? No, we are not. Did it happen to the prophets? Of course it did. It happened to the prophets. It happened to their children. It happened to their families. But those ones who are staying close to them and who are saying, we are not saying you are dead, because you are fresh and you are alive, and we're going to continue like you're fresh and you're alive. That time you get more life. That time you get more safety. That time you get higher stations. That time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be happy with us. Our Shaykh will be happy. Everyone has a part to play. We are never saying this is only for us, it's not for you. We are opening the doors east and west, north and south, to everyone to come. But don't come with your ego. This Dergah has no place for the ego or shaitan. The Shaykh is still ruling in this Dergah, alhamdulillah. And inshallah, we are very weak. We are the worst ones. But as long as we have a breath, we are going to carry that to not allow such a things to be happening here or elsewhere. If we are busy with ourselves in this holy month of Ramadan, to look into our hearts and to ask why we are here. What is our purpose? What is our job? What is our intention for today, for this week, for this month? Before, when Shaykh Efendi was here, everyone was just coasting. He's driving, everyone sit back and relax. And he's telling us day and night, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Still not waking up. Now, maybe we're going to be driving buses and others are going to be sitting behind, which he has also said so many times. Whether you like it or not now, you have to wake up. Because there are lives that are at stake. And everyone has work to do. Those who are declaring that he is dead, what work you are doing? Those who are coming out, be free until the time comes when the Sahib is going to come. Yes. Haq, it is clear. Batil, it is clear. If we are being sincere with ourselves, if we are looking and seeing where we are in this work, where are we? What is it that I am supposed to do? Which ammunition am I supposed to use against to my own ego, against to others? Their egos. Ammunition, we don't mean the physical ammunition now. Those ones who wants to make fitna, they can make fitna with everything, with nothing too. We are saying, with the advice, dini nasihat, tariqatan as-sohbat, taking the advice of our Shaykh, and to use that when the ego and shaitan is standing in front of us. That's the time when we were going to take what we have already prepared in our hearts. Taking the sohbat and putting it in our hearts. That's the time when the help, we need the help is going to come straight from the heart, because it is not cloudy. It is not rusted. It is not mixed up with so many things. And that's the time when we say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir rahmanir rahim, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. The help is going to come. Because all that is in the heart, and it is not mixed up. It is not dirty. Then when we ask for protection, the protection comes. May it come and stay, and may we have more energy and more faith to be in this way. More sincerity in this month. This is the month not for eating and drinking. This is the month for believers to pull themselves back and to think. Look into your hearts. You cannot fool yourself that time. You can fool the whole world, but you cannot fool yourself. Sit by yourself and ask, what am I busy with? What is in my heart? You do that, you'll win for yourself. You do that, you're doing exactly what the Holy Prophet ﷺ is doing, isn't it? In the first Jahiliyyah. In a month like this, where he goes into the cave and he meditates. This is meditation. Not to enter into illusion and delusion world that so many people claiming to be in tariqat non-stop, 24 hours, 7 days a week, illusions and delusions, nothing else. Our aim is to be Abdullah, to take away all the dirtiness from our hearts and to put Allah and His Prophet in our heart. That's the time. When you walk, they will support you. When you walk, Allah is going to support you. 124,000 prophets, they're going to support you. Millions of awliya Allah, they're going to support you. Especially in this Akhir Zaman. That is our intention, inshallah. May Allah forgive us. And bless our Shaykh and our Grand Shaykh and raise them to higher stations. For the sake of this holy night, inshallah. For the sake of the Holy Prophet, ﷺ. Al-Fatiha. Amin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to you. Welcome to Ramadan. This is Ramadan, Naqshbandi style. Osmanli, Dergahi style. For those who are interested in waking up, these words are enough, inshallah. Any questions anyone has? Say.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I have always held desire to meet Sahib Saif due to intense love for them. Alhamdulillah, they have visited me in my dreams a few times. What is the best way to benefit through these good dreams?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. You are blessed, definitely. If you have a dream about Sahib Saif, you are very blessed. There is something important that you have to do. Allah did not create any one of us for fun. Allah did not create any one of us for nothing. You may treat yourself as if you are nothing. You may treat yourself, your existence, just eating and drinking like an animal and dying like an animal. But that's not the reason why Allah created you or me or everyone here. But the man has to realize by his own self, man has to understand, using his own intelligence and his own will, not to be forced. If Sahib Saif has visited you in your dreams a couple of times, there is a work that you have to do. You're welcome to come. His way is continuing, alhamdulillah. If you like to find out, if you like to begin on your journey, then hop on board. Get on the ship. This is the ship of Nuh alayhi salam. When Nuh alayhi salam, he built the ship, majority of the world, they did not believe him. His people did not believe him. His own family did not believe in him. But it reached to so many others. And so many others who believe in him. They found safety even when they did not get on top of the ship physically. Yes. Only the believers, they are brothers. So, if you want to continue, if you want to begin, not to continue, to begin, this is nothing yet. You are welcome to come. You are welcome to be connected to our Shaykh. You are welcome to be connected, to make connection, a spiritual connection with our Sahib Saif through this way. Then you will begin your journey, inshallah. You are free to do as you like. My responsibility is to say. But he does not come to visit people for nothing. The reason why you have love in him is that some way, somehow, you are related to him too. You are related to his work. So, you are welcome. We are available. This is not like old days. Although we pull ourselves on top of a mountain, we are not bothering ourselves with anything. It is not like old days where it is so difficult to find us. You pick up, you may find us. So, that is now, like they say, the ball is in your court. It's over there with you. You can do with it as you like. If you decide to make connection with our Shaykh through us, you win for yourself. We don't gain nothing from this. If you decide not to, and just to sit back, then we say you're going to lose a lot, but it's up to you again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, give the drinks. Okay, any other questions we have? Anybody saying anything? Okay, say.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. How do you find peace and happiness when you are surrounded by negativity and selfish people with no option to leave them? Life is like a burden and so painful that I really think, where is God and why is He not listening to me?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The answer to your question is in your question. Where are you going to find health if you are sick and you're surrounded by sick people? Unless you are in prison, where there is no option who you meet, who you are with, and even in prison you can. You can choose to just remain in your cell, not to talk to them, not to socialize, not to be influenced by them. The answer is in your question. Because the sick person who is surrounded by sick people, what is the first step that he must take to find a cure? To keep surrounding himself with sick people? Or is the first step to move away from sickness and disease? You have the answer by yourself. Is there an option? Find it. Think. Understand. If it's a life and death situation, there is always an option. If the man is sick and he is dying and he knows that the cure is found only in India on top of a mountain, he's going to leave everything and he's going to run there to find that because the cure is there. But the problem is, 21st century people, we are very spoiled. And we say we have no choice. But the choices that's given to us is not even given to so many earlier generations. But because we are spoiled, and we are sitting, and we become so weak, that we say, there is no option, there is no choice. First, remove yourself from negativity. First, remove yourself from selfish people. Is there a way? Especially if it is in America. Oh, forget it. America, every 6 months, people going out to reinvent themselves, to discover themselves, isn't it? To find themselves. Am I saying that it is easy? No. It may be difficult. But, like I said, if it is a matter of life and death, you will run to find it. You will leave everything to find it. It depends on how important it is for you. Where is Allah in all of this? Allah is everywhere. Allah is sending help and Allah is sending support. But it is up to the man to take that support or not, to take that help or not. Sometimes man is so sick that the only help that he can get is under a knife. That's the only help. But that one who is ignorant, that one who is not understanding the reality, will say, what are you doing? I don't want to be under a knife. What kind of cruelty is this? This is impossible. You're going to cut me open? This is how you're going to save me? Meaning that if you're going to find a cure, if you're going to find a way out, sometimes the help is going to come. Yes, definitely. With a certain amount of sacrifice, with a certain amount of heaviness and a burden. But who is going to gain with this? The doctor? The doctor is going to gain because he's cutting people up? No. It is the one who is sick that is going to gain. Where is Allah in all of this? He's sending help. You have to keep your eyes open and you have to take the help that He's sending to you. Allah is sending help right now through this, through our Shaykh. We're asking His support. We don't know anything, but we are asking His support and He's sending it. Maybe He has enough support to send to everyone in this world. Definitely He does, not maybe. But if the man is not going to take that support, if he's not going to become active, if he's not going to stand up and do something and to make a change, that time what can the doctor do? Nothing. Inshallah Rahman, once you take the first step to remove yourself from all this selfishness, all this negativity, if you move away, are they going to kill you? Maybe if you are in India or in Pakistan or somewhere, they say if you step out of that, we're going to kill you. Yeah, maybe we can, that time we'll change our words, our sohbat to fit that, but not in America. Forget about killing. If somebody says something to you, you can just go report to police. But we have to wake up, inshallah. That's the only time we're going to find safety. Because the life is still given to us. The mercy is still reaching to us. May it be easy for you. If you take that first step, you may find peace and you may find happiness. We are finding, because you're asking us that question, peace and happiness. Not the way that America is defining, or the world is defining, or the Russians or the Chinese is defining what peace and happiness is. In this world, the definition of peace and happiness is, I do whatever I want. Nobody tells me what to do. That is peace. And whatever I want, I'm going to get. That is happiness. That is not, according to Allah and His Prophet, that is not peace and happiness the way that Islam is defining it. That is not as our Shaykh is teaching us. Peace and happiness only comes with submission to Allah. Peace and happiness only comes with Islam. Peace and happiness only comes with a good Jamaat. Yes, that time when you come out from that bad Jamaat and you find a good Jamaat, a good community, slowly you'll learn, we all learn how to live and how to put priority. What is important in front and what is not important behind. We start changing. We start being clean. We start getting washed. We are being accused of getting brainwashed. Huh? Good. Because the brain is very dirty. It needs to be washed. That's all. So may Allah make it easy for you. Once you find a good Jamaat, a good group of people, be with them. That's the time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, my help will reach to you, because you are following my order. When I'm saying, follow those who ask you no fee, and who themselves they are rightly guided, and be with the Salihin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Evet. Bismillah. Afiyet olsun. Say.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Shaykh Efendi said, you are not feeling the pain of Muslims because your heart is dead. You are living dead. I feel this way and cannot cry when I make dua. What is the way for me to make my heart alive again?
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Destur. Mered. Yes. This month of Ramadan, when we are nice and comfortable, eating and drinking, where majority is diving into the food and during iftar time, right now there are millions of Muslims everywhere who hardly have a little bit of what we have. We just saw something. One of our brothers putting it, showing one whole family, maybe 12 people, sitting from Somalia. They're sitting, they're making a dua in a circle. Father, the mother, the children, the grandfather. And in front of them, it's one bowl, like this big, for 12 people. And inside that bowl, maybe 1/4, 1/3 filled with soup. These are Muslims. These are good people. These are people who don't take anyone else's rights. These are poor people. These are people who worship day and night. These are people who don't see haram, who don't say haram. These are people who laugh and they cry. These are people like you and me. As we are eating and drinking, they are also eating and drinking. But that whole family of 12, they are breaking their fast with one bowl of soup. And that is all that they're going to eat the whole day. How are you going to make your heart to cry? If we are going to be surrounded by all this luxury, how are we going to make our hearts to be alive when it's continually being deadened by what we see on the television, what we see in the theater, what we see in everywhere now, Facebook, everywhere, but it's not reminding you of Allah and His Prophet? Of course your heart is going to be dead. You think that time the zikr of Allah is just to sit one time, half an hour, every week say Allah, 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 and then your heart is going to become alive? If you're not thinking of Allah, and you're not walking with Allah, and you're not seeing things with Allah, that time your heart is dead no matter how many times you say Allah, because you're not using it. That time when you walk, and when you see, and when you work, and when you read, and now everybody is knowing everything. Everybody knows the news, what is happening in Africa, in China, in Russia, everywhere. They know. But they're not taking lesson. Why is that? Because they're surrounded by this luxury. They're surrounded by things that don't make you to be reminded of Allah and His Prophet, to be reminded of the Ummah, to be reminded of the reality of what is happening here in this world. Of course our hearts are going to be dead. Because all that we are going to worry about is what we're wearing. Oh, should I wear this shirt or that shirt? I don't know. Should I wear this dress or that dress? Should I wear this or that? I'm very upset because I don't get what I want. Definitely your heart is going to be dead. You can memorize Quran as much as you want. You can memorize whole Quran. You can memorize all 4 books, 104 books you can memorize. But this is when Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying that religion is not going to pass beyond your throat. You're just saying it. It hasn't entered into your heart. You don't need to know so much Quran. You don't need to know so much tariqat, spiritual, Sufi things. You will have sincerity. Yes, that time you're going to sit and you're going to remember Allah. You're going to remember Prophet ﷺ. You're going to remember his ummah. And at least you're going to say when you're eating something, when you're drinking something, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah, Shukr, Astaghfirullah, Ya Rabbi. Month of Ramadan is supposed to make us to think that way. But no, month of Ramadan, the ummah is not thinking this. They have deviated from the way. So yes, don't be surrounded by things that deaden your hearts. Surround yourself with things that makes your heart to become alive. That time, you are going to look at your life. That time, you're going to think, Astaghfirullah, Ya Rabbi, forgive me. I was complaining to you so much because I didn't get what I want, because I didn't get to buy this, because I didn't get to wear this. I'm complaining to you. Forgive me. There's a time more faith is going to enter. Yes. Of course, we can say that especially in America, we are not surrounded by poor people. They take all the poor people, they put them somewhere. In the old days, you come out in the streets, even in so many different countries in this world, you come out and you see old people, you see cripples, you see poor people, you see beggars everywhere, and that must make you, if you have faith, if you have the Spirit, must make you to understand your Lord and yourself. And you can say, Shukr, Ya Rabbi, He's going to teach you generosity. But now, no. They're putting everything aside. What they put, commercial, billboards, everything, only to remind you of a luxury, but never to remind you even to be thankful of what Allah has given to you, but to put a desire into your heart that you can never quench, a desire you can never fulfill. Just a desire to say, I want, and I want, and I want, and I want. And how many times we have seen this happening? And now they're using Ramadan and Eid, a time for eating and drinking and shopping. Shopping. Meaning to buy, to get into this system, capitalist system. So, surround yourselves with good things. You will get good. Surround yourselves with bad things, you will get bad. Holy Prophet ﷺ, I believe, said, you want to see the character of a man? Look at who he hangs out with. Look at who his friends are. You will know his character. That just doesn't mean the physical people around you too. Check our lives. What are we being busy with? Shopping. What are we being busy with? Material things. Those are the things that we are putting it in our heart. And definitely it's not going to make us the heart to quiver. But if you're reminding yourselves, if you're surrounding, if you're reading the news that I say you can see everywhere now, when you are surrounding yourself with the news, what is happening in Syria, what is happening in Somalia, what is happening in Burma, what is happening in China, what is happening, it's almost every Muslim country, isn't it? At least to see that, to be busy with that. I'm looking in everyone's Facebook. Muslims, they're getting sorry because the actor of Sopranos, he died. Huh? They're putting like obituary kind. Oh, he died. Shocking. What a waste. But their own ones who are so close to them, they forgot. So, it's time that we learn how to become an ummat. Start with learning how to become a jama'at. Be in a good jama'at, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This much is enough. For that, last question. Afiyat olsun. This is... say Fatiha. For whoever brought this. Fatiha. Ameen. Bismillah. Okay. Say.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. For a true believer, Ramadan is the month to reap the harvest of blessings and rewards. If it is so, does that mean that one should not be feeling any sort of heaviness nor the difficulties of being tested in this month of Ramadan?
No, it does not. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. For the believer, we don't stop to reap any harvest. This is the level now where you are. For the believer, especially those who are belonging to the Jamaat, Shaykh Efendi's Jamaat, when we sit down, we say, oh, good job. Very good, mashallah. We did so many good things. Now we can rest. Ever? Did Holy Prophet ﷺ rest? He did not. He came back one day with his beard white and it was all dusty. I mean, his beard was dusty and he was looking very tired. And his holy daughter, Hazrati Fatima, is saying, oh, my father, you are getting so old. And still you are running in this way. When are you going to find rest? Isn't it enough? Shouldn't you have rest now? Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, oh my daughter, I will not rest. You see that sun that is shining? He says, yes, my father. I will not rest until Islam is like that sun that shines into every house in this world. I will not rest. Those ones who are following in that footsteps, they're not going to rest too. Doesn't matter. Ramadan this, Ramadan that. They're not going to rest. We're going to run that time. We're going to run. We're not going to rest. We're going to say, it doesn't matter which month, which day it is, we must run in the way. Now, are there different burdens and different heaviness coming with the month? There may be some tests, of course. This is a month of testing too. Aren't we testing our egos? Of course we are. When are we going to reap the benefits? Hereafter. What we're feeling in this month of Ramadan, it's a different test. It is not eating and drinking that is our test now. Or not eating and not drinking that is our test. It is others. That when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is looking at that believer, and He's looking at that believer, yes, He's coming close to him. Allah is running to him, isn't it? Did the life of any prophet and any saint of Allah, that they are running, flying to Allah, ever becomes a time of ease and luxury? No. Difficulty on top of difficulty, but it is carried with what? With a strength and with joy, with happiness, knowing that Allah is looking, and it is Allah that is putting that burden in front of us that we have to carry. So that time, then, the month of Ramadan, we are looking forward to it. It comes with heavy tests, but we are able to carry it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to burden His servant with more than he can carry. So, we take this opportunity in this month to make more worship, to make more meditation, to understand more. Then if we are ready, Allah will put other things, other tests on us that we can carry, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Say.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. How can one differentiate the tests from the spiritual way from the troubles I made myself and that come back to me?
Bismillah ar-Rahman. Very good question. If you are sick, the question is, how can you tell the difference between the test that is coming in this spiritual way and the difficulties that you are making for yourself? Very easy. If you are sick, what are you going to do? You're going to find a doctor. Before you even think about a medicine, you're going to find a doctor. Isn't it? Good. So if you're spiritually sick, first find a doctor. Then the doctor will tell you that time. Maybe it is because of your body. Maybe it is because of what you put in your body. Isn't it? Maybe it's something that you catch from outside, but maybe it's something that you invite by yourself. You don't know when you're sick what it is. You have to find a doctor. If you are unclear about this matter, whether it is a spiritual test or something that you yourself you are making, find a spiritual doctor. That's the time the spiritual doctor will tell you specifically what it is. Because now this is very open. We cannot speak like this generally. It depends on the individual. Find yourself a guide, and that guide will be able to tell you, in this situation, this is what you are doing. Because you are surrounding yourself with too much negative people, sick people. First, come out from that. We're going to give you some medicine. Then you have to change your lifestyle a little bit. You have to change your diet. You're going to become better. Once you become better, that is not all. Once you become better, now the work can start. So, you cannot tell the difference. Speak to that one who is able to tell the difference. That is the first step that you must do. As you like. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. May Allah forgive me and bless you. May Allah raise the station of our Shaykh for him to give continued himmat to us, inshallah. May Allah make us strong enough to carry all this. For the sake of the Holy Prophet, ﷺ, may Allah raise the station of our grand Shaykh, grant him long life and a strong life and a healthy life. To take away the fitna from our association, to bring more good people, to make us to become better. Ilham. Fatiha. Amin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have a good night.